All right, so looks like we're recording. So before we get started today, just a reminder, I've asked you to gather a sort of sofa cushion and 2 or 3, well, actually 3 would be preference, blankets or towels, and your bed pillow. So what I'm going to suggest we do today is make our own bolster. So this is great for you to do because you can do this again when you do your practice at home, and we can just get that ready at the beginning of our session. So what I'm going to do here is just tilt the screen so you can see a bit better, but take a pillow, your bed pillow, and take your blanket, and on one side just place your pillow, and then we're just going to roll it up. So I'm going to fold mine in half or curl it in on itself, and then roll it into a bolster-like shape, like so. And there, hey presto, you've made your own home bolster, which we'll use in a moment. So you can just place that to the side when you're done. And I'll give you a couple of minutes just to finish that off. And today, so at this time of year, as we're coming into spring, which is a lovely time of year, we started talking about this a little bit last week, how there is this new energy in the air as the flowers are opening, as lots of bulbs are opening or growing. There is this different energy in the air, and what's lovely about that is that it often brings a sense of energy, a sense of activity. But what I'm inviting you to do in your practice today is restore. So using our practice to really tune in to how we're feeling and fine-tuning our awareness so that we can get a gauge of when we might be overexerting ourselves. And this is such a key tool for us to learn in our everyday life, just to know when we might be overexerting ourselves, doing too much, taking on too much, and therefore getting overwhelmed or getting overtired and exhausted. So we'll start the practice with a little bit of movement. Often when we begin our practice, there can be quite a lot of tension that we don't even really know is there. So taking some time just to do a couple of tension releasing practices before we come into restorative, before we come into stillness, can be really helpful for then allowing us to sink into more, into a deeper state of relaxation and stillness. So the first practice, I'm going to invite us to stand, but of course you can do this sitting as well, if that feels more comfortable for you. I might have to tilt the screen a little bit so that you can see my full body, and then when we come to the ground, I'll tilt it again. So again, you can do this sitting in a chair or standing, and just come to a stable position that feels comfortable. And just noticing how you feel as you arrive into this posture. And we're just going to work our way through the body, through the different joints, and gently warm them and open them. So finger joints, wrist joints. And using this organic, natural movement to start to help release any tension that might have accumulated from our sleeping position. And I'm just giving some guidelines here. You might find your own way of releasing through your joints, your wrists, your fingers, your elbows. And it's a mixture of sort of mobilization and swinging. The yurt has different heights, so sometimes can be a bit too low for some of these movements. And you might do the movement, but a lot more gently if there are restrictions in your shoulders, your chest, your back. And just feel into, as we move through the different ranges of motion of the body, feel into where you might have a little more tension in your body, where it might need a little bit more time to warm up. So we're moving from hands, elbows, shoulders, upper back, and maybe into the neck. So just go really gently here on your neck. Little semicircles or little nose circles, or just a bit of a freestyle. How can you move your neck in a way that feels tension releasing? And then you might like just to take a little roll down, little pulsing roll down. Might just be part way, with your arms hanging down towards the floor. You might come all the way down towards the floor in a full forward bend. Just releasing through the spine, taking some nice sigh like exhales. Only going to a place that feels comfortable in your body today. And then little circles, lower back, waist. So more focusing on the lower back and lower spine and waist than the hips to begin with. And really just getting a sense of where your body's at today. So that might entail adapting these movements to suit you today. And then you could come into the hips. So more of a focus of the hip joints. And we're just sort of breezing through the body today. You might spend a little bit longer on this and another time. Down to the knees. I'm just going to turn my toes in slightly, my knees in towards one another, and do little circles with the knees. So if you're sitting on a chair, then you could lean forwards here, adapt the movement to suit. As we come into the ankles, you may want something to hold on to. Depending on how stable you're feeling today, you can hold onto your wall or a chair. And we'll just articulate through the toes, the ankles. And changing foot when you're ready. And it gives you a chance to explore how any movement that you're doing, that you're drawn to doing, is help releasing stiffness, tension, stuckness in your body. And then just taking the arms up towards the ceiling, so adapt where you need to, and reaching out through the palms of the hands. Taking a couple of exhales, maybe just rolling the shoulders in and out, releasing through the nerves, through the arms, the chest. Taking those exhale, sigh-like exhales also help release that tension. So we'll just start shaking out now, shaking through the hands and the wrists. I find this one of the best ways. It might feel a bit funny, a bit unfamiliar, but just having a little shake out really helps us release that charge, that tension, even if it's just been from a couple of hours of being awake. And you can just bounce up and down on your heels. Being careful if there's sensitivity through the chest or the shoulders, you might just do this a little more gently. Might just naturally invoke a need to sigh, shaking out the legs, holding onto something. And we're really trying to allow the flesh to become completely relaxed so it can be free to shake, wobble, and any other little natural shaking movements that you're feeling drawn to. Might shake your cheek, your head. the waist, your hips. And it's quite nice. You're all at home, you can really get into this if you'd like, a little freestyle. Good. Let's just settle by inhaling, planting the feet, exhaling, taking the hands down through the center line of the body. Settling your attention down into the lower body. Nice. Coming to sit down. That might be on the floor, on your sofa, or on your chair if you have one nearby. And just starting to bring your hands to your face, if that feels appropriate, maybe to your forehead. As if you've just woken up this morning and you're giving your face a wash, maybe behind your ears, around your eyebrows, your eyes. Physically bringing this touch to your body, coming to your neck. And often we don't know that we're holding this tension when we come into our practice. So using your soft, gentle touch on your body to help release that. I'm just going to squeeze and release down each arm, starting at the neck, tops of the shoulders, hands, and then taking one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly. This is our seal massage, and just circling them in opposite directions, giving just a gentle pressure through the palm of your hand. Just relaxing into that touch, warming those two areas of your being. You can swap hands when you're ready. And then just finishing by just rubbing the body down just to any areas that you can reach, as if you're just brushing water off the skin, as if we could brush off the stale energy in our body. And then just coming to stillness, linking the fingers together, just resting the hands on your lap, softening your gaze or closing your eyes. Arriving in your body today. And as we turn towards our experience, our own unique experience in this moment, could you bring an attitude of gentle willingness to be with how you feel today? This turning towards your experience is courageous, is brave, but it's also necessary to really feel into the truth of each moment. And noticing what you're bringing to your practice today. Seeing whether on the next couple of sigh-like exhales, you might release a little more fully into your body. Sinking your weight down, sinking your attention down. And noticing how you really feel this morning. We don't need to label this or analyze this, but noticing just the feelings, the sensations that are representing themselves right here. So as we start to move towards our restorative practice, as we invite the body towards a state of stillness, we're going to move through the 4 ranges of motions of the spine: forward bend, side bend, twist or rotation, and then back bend, in the hope to bring balance to the body. So the first posture I'm going to invite you into is a forward bend, but I'd like you to choose your own forward bend today. So I'll give you some options. Option 1 is standing forward bend with support. Option 2 is coming right onto the floor into a child's pose with support. And option 3 is middle ground, sitting. So if you're coming to stand, then you might use your chair or your sofa. You might use a cushion or 2 or your blanket, and have lots of padding on your chair. Stand a couple of feet away and slowly lowering your way down so that your hairline, about your hairline and above, comes to meet the support. Now you can adjust the support to suit your forward bend. The arms might be overhead like mine are. They might be resting on your chair, depending on what chair you have. I'm trying to bring plenty of space for your spine, so you're not all hunched up, curled over. There's enough room through your chest and shoulders to be able to breathe. That's option 1. Option 2 could be to come onto the floor. You might use your bolster between your knees and coming into a child's pose. If that feels suitable for you, with your knees and your hips today. It's nice. And then the third option could be a seated option, maybe sitting on a blanket, either cross-legged or open legs, folding forwards on your support. So you choosing one of those 3 that feels suitable for you, or a different forward bend that you know and you feel more drawn to. And as you come into your chosen posture, could you consciously surrender the weight of your head, the weight of your brain, this part of our nervous system that is often on high alert and often quite busy? How might it be just to surrender that part of your being in this posture? Releasing around your jaw. And feel into where the body is being supported by the ground. And this will vary depending on what posture you've chosen to come into. Might you sink your weight a little more fully as you arrive into this posture? And as you do so, can you feel into a sense of opening through the back of your body? You may even take some conscious breaths into the back, remembering that we have 60% of our lungs in the back of our body. So how does it feel to breathe into your back? So forward bend can be a lovely start to the practice. It's a very natural way for the spine to bend. One of the most used directions that we have. Notice in your experience if there's any tension somewhere in your body, or it might not feel like tension, it might feel like pressure or stuckness. Without resisting it, might you yield into this shape a little more fully? If you're cross-legged, you might like to change the legs over. If you're standing and your head is on the chair, you might like to slowly come out now and sit on your chair. And this beginning of turning inwards to our experience, this refinement of awareness so that we can start to attune to really how we're feeling, not how we're thinking, but how we're feeling in our body. There is this continual invitation for you to feel when is enough for you. So you will know, the body will know, okay, I've had enough here, it's time to come out. And when that time happens, please do listen to that. I'm not going to tell you how long to spend in this posture. You might want to just spend a couple more breaths yielding, being, or you might have started to make your way out. Good. When you do start to make your way out, I'm going to suggest we come into a supported side-lying posture. Lying on the floor and using our pre-prepared bolster. Now, if you don't have your pre-prepared bolster, then you might use a sofa cushion or two. So that's going to be underneath our waist. I'm going to start lying on my right side. You can choose. And if side lying on one side doesn't suit you at the moment, then just do one side. That's fine. If you're doing one side, you may not like to use the bolster underneath the waist. You might like something a little bit more neutral, like a small blanket. The important part of this posture is that we have plenty of neck support. So I'm going to use my cushion and a blanket. And you might like something between your knees as well. So sitting on the floor, I'm sitting on my right side. My pelvis is definitely on the floor. And then the bolster is just going to support underneath my lower ribs, my middle ribs. It might even come up, it's coming up to my upper ribs as well, because it's quite a wide bolster. And then I'm going to tuck my neck support right up into the nook of my neck, right up into the nook. And actually for me, I could do with a little bit more height underneath my head. So I might roll my blanket, my cushion underneath itself a little, or double up my blanket. And just take your time to adjust your posture, bending the knees in a way that feels supported for the spine. You might like to lift your left arm up and over your head, resting it over your head. Can be quite nice to bend the elbow and just leave the upper arm on the side of the head. Maybe sighing a couple of times as you arrive here. And do give yourself time to arrive. So not judging your experience as you arrive or analyzing it, just giving yourself the time to land. Now, this kind of approach to our practice, this restorative approach, can be so helpful at times of overwhelm. So often when we're overwhelmed, it's our body saying, this is too much for me to handle right now. And just giving yourself this space to rest, for the body to rest, and consciously closing off from stimulation. So other than the sound of my voice, maybe your eyes are slightly open, maybe your eyes are closed, but you are closing off from stimulation, withdrawing your attention inwards. We talked about how in winter the seeds conserving their energy by drawing the energy inwards to the center of the organism. So this restorative practice is very much like that. We're not ignoring what's happening in the outside world, but we're taking some time out, treating. So approaching your practice just as that today, some time out. And just landing here with yourself. And this very conscious turning away from stimuli is enabling you to be with the truth of your experience. Now, that can be quite distorted when we're busy or when our mind is very occupied or when we're doing lots of different activities or socializing with lots of people. With our energy expending outwards, there isn't much chance to really connect with ourselves. So as you rest here on your side, as you continue to invite your physical body to yield, could you also invite your mind to yield, knowing that there's nothing that needs achieved here or attending to. The intention here is to quieten, to let go of our daily rounds and just arrive. Sinking into your own physical space. To allow your body to gradually unwind. So, taking your time to gradually transition over to your second side. And if you are transitioning, then can that transition be part of your practice? So you stay very present with your body, the shifting of weight as you move and change sides. Setting yourself up with the same amount of care as you did on the first side. So the hip, pelvis on the floor, do pad that up if you need a little bit more softening under there. And then as you lie yourself over your bolster on your second side, the bolster starting at your lower ribs and maybe coming up all the way to middle upper ribs, depending on how wide your bolster is. Tucking your head support right up to the nook of your neck. left arm or underarm is outstretched in front of you, and maybe the right arm lifts up and over the head, fully over the head, or bending at the elbow, or that might not feel appropriate. So you might just rest the elbow on the body, you might curl in towards the chest. And what's amazing about this practice is that each time you visit a posture, whether it's familiar or not familiar, there is this new opportunity to give your body what it needs. And that will change. It might change throughout the duration of the posture. It might change from each time you visit the posture. Landing on your second side with nothing to do here but be present. And as I say that, notice the reaction that you have to that doing nothing. Is there a relief? Ah, great, I don't have to do anything. Is there a little resistance, perhaps? Is there some resistance to moving into stillness? And how might it be to be curious and simply be with that restlessness? Be with that agitation, with kindness, with love. Of course, if you're physically uncomfortable, then do change the position so that it's comfortable. But if it's an inner restlessness, feeling of wanting to achieve or get going in your day, could you meet that with this gentle compassion? And perhaps exploring, feeling a little deeper into your experience. And somewhere in the background, there will be relief. There will be okay, I can just be still. I can just rest. Using your exhale can be a really helpful tool if there is restlessness. Each exhale being a new opportunity to sink a little more deeply into this supported rest. Use that whenever you need to. And then allowing your breath to return to its neutral rhythm, its natural rhythm. When we allow the body to completely rest, and as the mind gives up and quietens, sometimes eventually, the breath can move freely how the body needs it to move. So can you trust in that process? Process of leaving your experience alone. Giving yourself this gift of space. Gift of stillness. Feeling your whole physical body in this shape. Whole physical form. As you awaken this capacity to be physically present. Physically present in your body as you sink, as you keep sinking more fully into this experience of stillness. And of course, the body is never still completely. There will be movement of the breath, movement within your body. But this invitation of the body, the mind, the whole being to sink into a deeper place of rest. This quality of stillness that resides in the background, always there supporting our lives. And we come to know that stillness the more we can let go the grip of the mind. A couple more breaths here on this side. And then slowly in your own time, starting to make your way up, maintaining this attitude of continuation of practice as you transition. We'll move our bolster to, let's move it to the left side of your mat. Have that there ready. You may want something to put your head on here. And just before we come into our spinal rotation, you may like to take some gentle windscreen wiper legs. Just taking the legs from side to side a couple of times. They don't need to come all the way to the floor. Just taking that gentle massage into the back of the pelvis, the outer hips. And if there's anything that your body is calling for after that supported side lying posture, then do honor that. Coming into a supported spinal rotation. So I'm going to use this bolster behind me. Hopefully you can see okay. Hopefully you will once I come into it. So I've got the bolster laying sideways from about my hip level and downwards. I'm going to bend my right leg up. Keep my left leg extended. And as I'm going to shift my hips over to the right, just about an inch or so. So I'm coming more onto the outer side of my left hip, taking the right leg across. And I'm just going to adjust the bolster to suit here. If there's a gap between your leg and your bolster, then bring the bolster up. You can add all your blankets here. I'm just going to bend my left knee just to bring a little bit more comfort into the posture. The important thing here is that we're not wrenching on this right leg to draw the leg down. So it's more important that that we're bringing the floor up to meet the leg rather than the leg down to meet the bolster. So for me, I could probably do with a little bit more height underneath my knee here. And you can take the arms out to the side if you'd like. Take the arms into a cactus-like position, opening through the chest. Feeling into the effect this spinal rotation has on your physical shape. And then how that has an effect on the inner body. You might notice the influence on your breath. You might notice the influence on different areas of opening through your body. Back or sides or front of your body. How is the feeling of that? As you open up to the felt quality of this posture in your experience.
using that tool of your sigh-like exhales to release any tension in the chest or in the solar plexus or in the belly. And then slowly, when you feel ready to, starting to transition out of this side, you may like to just visit constructive rest, neutral for a moment. And then with care, and that might mean sitting all the way up, taking your bolster onto the other side. My bolster's unraveled somewhat, that's why it's not so high. So I might just re-roll it. And as you set yourself up on the second side, just know that this is a different side. So your body on this side may want less or more support. So as you remember that, adding anything that you need this side, drawing your left knee in towards your body, shifting your hips to the left for resting your leg on your bolster. And if it feels more comfortable for you to turn more into that right side, then do so. You're still getting a gentle rotation through your spine. Or if you like more of a spiral, then you could ease that left shoulder towards the floor, opening the arms out or not. So be playful with how you set up your posture. Sadly, I'm not there with you to assist and suggest, but you have this amazing innate capacity to feel. And so you can feel what is right for you today or not. So using your best judgment. Settling into this new side with a new moment arising continually. Trusting the process of this unraveling, this slowing down of momentum that can find its own momentum at this time of year. So with this act of slowing right down to doing nothing, with the intention to bring balance. Bring balance from all the activity, not necessarily in the body, in the mind as well. And in this lovely space of yours, as you practice at home, your own safe space, feel safe, feel the body sensing that, enabling it to yield even more fully into this posture. What is the effect of this posture as you spiral your spine on the inner feeling within your body? you stay with that. Just gently easing into it. Easing into that feeling within your body. Couple more breaths here on this second side. And then with as much ease and presence as you can muster, starting to transition your way, maybe just coming onto your back first, finding constructive rest initially. And then gradually starting to make your way off the ground to set yourself up for a very gentle spinal extension or very gentle back bend. So we're setting up a supported bound angle posture. This is something that we use a bolster on the spine for sometimes in class. And we'll use blankets today. So I've got 2 blankets here. I've got my bolster ready for my legs to rest over. Or you could use 2 sofa cushions if you don't have your bolster. And I've got my first blanket folded at least the length of my spine and a rectangle shape. So it's no wider than the width of my pinky and thumb. That's going to go over the spine and head area of the mat. So our bottom is going to go on the floor. The back side is on the floor, the legs over the bolster. And then the second blanket or towel, having that on top, again in a rectangle. So I might just fold mine a little narrower. And staggered slightly. So bottom's going to come on the floor. Lower back is going to be supported by this first level. And then the lower rib cage, the start of the rib cage, supported by the second level. And then if you've got some space at the end, I'm sat in the way, but I'll show you when I come to lie down, you can fold the end of your blanket and tuck it underneath your neck, or you might use your sofa cushion. So legs resting over the bolster, bottom is on the floor, I'm not sitting on this edge of the blanket. I'm going to lie back onto the edge, and then the top layer of the blanket is going to support my lower ribs, and I quite like just lifting my pelvis and lengthening my lower back here. You might like that too. And then supporting the neck either by your sofa cushion, or you could roll any spare length underneath the neck. So you're really tucking it right into the nook. And something I didn't mention for the legs, you could bend the knees and have the feet together into a bound angle posture, just depending on how your bolster's set up. If your space is a little chilly, then do put a blanket over the top of you. And as you sort of arrive, I quite like just to draw my shoulder blades under and towards one another, just to bring a little bit more, just to draw the shoulders down the back, basically. It can be nice to bring the arms down and have that sense of withdrawal in the body. You could take the arms out to the side if you want opening space. You might even put something underneath, over the top of your eyes to block any light out. And what I instantly love about this posture is just how open it creates the area of the abdomen and pelvis. So can you sense into any feelings of that opening in your body. That gentle tilting of your pelvis, very slight arching of your lower back to enable this opening of the abdominal bowl. And how does that opening feel in the area of your abdomen? As there is this gentle, natural opening, do you notice any holding here? Using your breath or your attention to invite softening here, yielding here. No holding of the abdominal wall, just softening, releasing to enable full expansion or freedom of movement. So can you feel the support of these different levels for your spine? First level for your lumbar spine. Second level for your thoracic spine. And then the fold at the top or your cushion for your cervical spine, your neck. And this cradling of your spine, could it enable a release of effort, release of holding? So there's an invitation to stay in this posture until the end of the practice. Of course, if it becomes uncomfortable, then do just move yourself off and lie neutral in a Shavasana-like shape. And I'm actually going to take you outside. So I'll blank my screen, or I'll turn my camera off, and I'll lead you through a Nidra practice that I recorded for you last week when we had a little technical hitch. And it's a lovely time of year to be practicing this, so I thought I'd weave it into this practice today. So I'll turn my camera off, but I'm still here. There might be a little bit of rustling as I move you outside. Moving you outside in the hope that we have some nice bird song to accompany us. So as you settle into this rest, making sure that you are as comfortable as you can be. And I put this practice together in the hope that it brings a little more connection to our lives. So I'm now outside. You might start to hear the bird song. Yeah, so a practice
with the intention to feel our interconnectedness with the environment around us. So this amazing, alive, rich tapestry of life that we're very much a part of. And when the mind is particularly active, or when we're living with uncertainty and challenge, it's very common to forget that we're a part of this dance of life. And in that forgetting, feel a disconnection to ourselves and to others and to the environment. So here is a chance to connect to something greater than ourselves. And it's within this connection that we can learn to let go of any sense of separateness. And remember that which we're a part of. So can you feel the shape of your body here? As you allow the outline of your body to emerge gradually. Settling your body like a great rock. As if your body has been here connected to the earth, where you rest for thousands of years, undisturbed, quiet. And as we move through this practice, I'll guide and make suggestions, but the very important thing is for you to remain connected to how you feel. Remembering there are no shoulds, no rights or wrongs. Allow yourself to sink into your own personal journey with this practice without effort. Feeling the support beneath you. Can you imagine a surface in nature that you are resting upon, that you're supported by? One that'll invite a quality of softening and yielding. So it might be a soft carpet of moss, a warm sandy beach, or rounded pebbles that mold around your body. Whatever your chosen surface, what's its quality? What is the temperature of it? And as that support becomes more familiar, clearer, and perhaps safer, could you yield a little more fully into it? And now, can you feel the quality of the air around your body? Perhaps places where your skin is bare. What is the sensation of air on your skin? Could you relax and soften the surface of your skin so that it becomes receptive, open to sensation? Release the muscles around your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw, as your skin and flesh relax more fully. Allow your mind to settle back and rest, turning on your innate capacity to be physically present with your experience. Bring back into your awareness this imaginary surface of your choice, the one that supports the shape of your body. one that you trust and you continually keep giving your weight into. Now, in your imagination, where is this place you rest? Reflect on a place in nature that you feel connected to. It might be an imagined place, or somewhere out in nature that you've visited or that you know well. Somewhere in nature that is so beautiful and peaceful and at rest. What is the backdrop to your imagined nature rest? What are the colours? What is the temperature? Is the sun warming your body as it rests? Are you under a tree in the shade? Wherever it is, this place is your refuge for this practice. Somewhere you connect with, that you can reside in, feeling safe and connected. What sounds do you notice? And how do you feel resting here? Can you give yourself the permission to really arrive here? Gradually letting go into the feeling of being here. Relaxing the area of your heart. As you settle into this place of beauty in this living natural world, how does it feel to breathe here? Wherever you are, the air is fresh and nourishing, reaching every cell of your being. With each breath that you take, drawing in oxygen, vitality, energy created by the environment around you. And with each breath, you let go, expending all that you don't need, and giving back to the plants to absorb. Rest here in this reciprocal dance of receiving and giving, one natural breath at a time. As you start to release more fully into this nature rest, and as you feel safe to do so, allow your head to completely surrender to gravity. As gravity kindly holds you close to the earth, the surface of earth cradling your head. Surrender your shoulders, your back, your pelvis and legs. Notice as you surrender your whole body to gravity, are there any areas that are resistant to settle? Allow yourself to feel what you do feel, without judgment, or any wish for it to be different. Simply notice and take this as useful information, not good, not bad. Maybe even taking some of those longer exhales, as if the place in which you rest could absorb any tension or charge you're holding, lightening your body somewhat. Very gently inquire into whether the outline of your body might melt a little more fully to the center of the earth. Maintaining your attention inward, can you start to feel out into the quality of the place that you are resting in? Can you get a sense that the space is very effortlessly resting within itself? Even as the trees rustle, the birds sing, the clouds drift, there is an effortless state of rest behind all the movement and sounds. As you stay connected to your inner experience, could you invite that same effortless state of being within you? Resting like the trees rest. Could your heart relax a little more as you do this? As you connect to the quiet quality of awareness that surrounds you, inviting that quietness inward. And simply abide here for a short while. And let go of any visual. And simply abide in this effortless state of natural awareness. Simply rest here. No need to think about this. Surrendering into each moment. And perhaps the more deeply you drop down into this quiet realm, the stiller your inner state becomes. Over time, you might recognize this same still and quiet place that you connect to in nature, or even get a sense of is that same quiet place you drop into when your mind quietens and you rest. This effortless, natural state of awareness is your true nature. That state that resides in the background of your experience. Quite often so subtle that we may not notice it at all. And it's in this natural awareness that connects us all, not just with each other, but with everything. Can you savor this ground of awareness? Feeling any separateness, any isolation or disconnection dissolve away. And just allow yourself to rest within it, part of it. No attending to, just being. Notice, is there any sense of a unified experience? As you merge with your moment fully, just as it is. From this place, might there be a gladdening of heart, sense of joy of being an expression of this majestic and supportive essence that is life? Is there a feeling of love and gratitude to that? And as we bring this practice to a close, broaden your attention to feel into the whole of your body again. Feel the weight of your body. Feel it here, resting in this space. And just noticing how you're feeling within your body. What is the residing feeling tone or flavor that you notice here? Can you be open to how you feel without judging it? Feel again the weight of your body as it rests. Just gently starting to wiggle your fingers again. Maybe your toes. And beginning your transition. Your own time. Of course, you're in your own space. You could just turn me off and continue to rest if you wish. So do take your time. So may this practice serve and suit you, support you for your day and your week. Namaste.